This episode of Idle Thumbs is brought to you by Squarespace. Squarespace is the fastest, easiest, most professional, user-friendly, responsive way to make your very own website, portfolio, blog, or online store. If you go to squarespace.com and use the offer code THUMBS at checkout, you will get 10% off your first order and sign up for a year, get a free domain name. Go to squarespace.com, start your free trial, use the offer code THUMBS, and get 10% off. Thanks, Squarespace.
Nice.
Thanks, Jake.
I just wanted to say that it was nice.
Oh, I just wanted to thank you for that.
It's nice. Okay, I'm gonna try and play the theme song.
Okay.
It might not work, but that's okay. If it doesn't work, it's okay. I love when people expect it to be Dark Souls and instead it's a video game podcast that we've been doing for almost 2008. Gross.
Yeah, coming up on 9 years. 9 year weird.
9 weird.
9 weird
Well, the
years.
reason I
9
was weird
weird years.
for a second I was like 9 years. No. That's the entire website that's been around for
No,
it's
that was
just-
that turned 10 years ago, 2 years ago, or something,
Yeah.
which is why we have these stupid paintings.
Yeah.
All right.
Gross. Super gross.
It's January 19th, 2017.
This is Idle Thumbs 298. I am Chris Remo.
I'm Nick Brecken.
And I'm Jake Rodkin.
Welcome.
Welcome.
Thank you.
Oh, I
so
feel
close to
welcome, Chris. I
300.
feel
This is
welcome.
No, yeah.
It's terrifying.
Two
in
episodes
fact.
to go.
Jesus.
It's a scary number.
I know.
Yeah.
What better way to celebrate it than with
Yeah.
new renderings of our faces? So
Yeah, it's true.
The community made us these lovely portraits of ourselves
Yeah.
when Idle Thumbs turned 10.
Yeah.
Like these beautiful, crazy, cartoonish paintings of ourselves, but those are now passé.
We've got the modern art version of that's like a Renaissance painting, and now we've gone full yeah.
yes, if you go to idlethumbs.net/faces, you will see an incredible tweet. I'm going to read the chain that led up to this. This is by Idle Thumbs reader Jim. A couple days ago, Jim tweeted at Idle Thumbs and said, "I've been trying to avoid seeing pictures of you for 4 years so I could draw my purely audio-informed picture of you. I finally did it. Unfortunately, I realized I've also not drawn since middle school and never learned to draw real faces." So we have been exploding over these for the last few days. My picture...
It's the best one.
I am the most ashamed at how I am apparently come off on the podcast.
I'm a close second, Chris, but
Yeah,
let's be fair.
You and I don't come off that well.
No.
I am portrayed.
But I'm fine as just like a dude.
Well, we can all just self-describe here.
Yeah.
So I am portrayed as a bald man. Not to take anything away from the bald or balding, but I think the part
I don't know what you're even talking about, Chris. That's not how I look.
The part that I think is the more incriminating part is that my eyes are sort of closed in a like half closed in a sort of like superior like actually sort of way.
You look like someone who's like
tilted. At a slight angle.
please.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I also like the attention to detail on that. I have definitely a shiny bald.
Oh yeah, no, it's really good.
It's the glint is happening there. Yeah.
Yeah.
I just realized what I am.
Well, I want to hear Jake's next.
Okay, yeah.
Jake could not look more different to me.
I know. I love it. As in life, I could not look more different to you. But in this case, I've turned into just like a 90s dude.
So here's actually, I think this applies to all of them. I thought it was just going to apply to myself. I think what he's actually created is the Game Pro avatar version of us.
Yes.
Yeah,
right?
Except
you're just
true.
Major Nelson or whatever. Not Major Nelson, but whatever.
The thing about this, though, is that you, Nick, and you, Chris... Nick and Chris might be like a wacky Game Pro character, but I am a Game Pro ratings face.
Oh, that's true. Yeah,
you guys are staff members.
That's true. You're Fun Factor 5.0.
I'm 4. I'm
okay.
I'm 4. I'm a guy with like spiky hair and a face sort of going woo. Like I feel like I should be on like a 90s extreme sports trapper keeper. Basically.
Which however,
I'm just early man. I'm just the missing link. Like, what happened there?
You're just a grumpy Frankenstein's monster.
Angry, like
you have a huge forehead, a furrowed brow,
which is true,
matted hair.
All of these things are kind of true.
A grimace.
Yeah, but when you describe them, it's just me.
Nose.
Well,
that's not true.
That's not true. Yeah.
I mean, when I say grimace, I mean this is a grimace.
Yeah,
and
no.
You have
I just look.
Your brow goes beyond furrowed. Your brow sets new definitions for how
your brow is like a small additional forehead below your regular forehead.
Yes,
no,
that is
true.
how furrowed it is.
Yeah.
So anyway, again, that is idlethumbs.net/faces to be linked directly.
Yeah. So if you've never watched the video podcast, and if you've never seen a photograph of any of us, let us know how accurate that matches to your description of us at questions@idlethumbs.net.
This has been a constant...
Do your own drawings.
Yeah. This has been a constant theme, I've noticed, ever since we started releasing video podcasts. I mean, we've had assorted video content for years at this point, but ever since we actually started doing the video podcasts, on most of the episodes we've released so far, there's at least one person in the YouTube comments who was shocked to discover how absurdly different we look to their apparent mental image.
And it usually is some form of like, I thought Chris would look like Jake, and I thought Jake would look like Nick, and like it's usually a weird like swap situation, which I'm not.
There was a good tweet by I think Joel McCoy, who said that the drawings of Chris, Jake, and Nick were actually Jake, Sean, and Steve, which is hilarious.
Yeah, definite bizarro.
Lineup. Yeah, that's a weird. Yeah. Well.
So anyway, I know that Nick, your and my partners each essentially died.
Oh man, I haven't heard Janelle laugh that hard and long in a long, if ever, maybe. It was a very strange,
Sarah
like
was basically
wheezing, just
night.
like
it was outrageous,
unable to speak. Yeah. Well, anyway.
That's what we look like now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
We also marked the occasion by seeing Jeff Goldblum live.
That's true. I had multiple. This weekend provided me with multiple external comments on my appearance because we from very different sources. We went in 2015, in like mid 2015. Nick, you and I went to see Goldblum's jazz combo here in San Francisco.
Yeah.
And that was great. That was like a very small, personal kind of performance. He came over to our table, hung out for like longer than he had any need to. That was fun. And we went back to another Goldblum show this past weekend. It was in a much more traditional sort of concert venue. So it was sort of road seatings as opposed to tables for him to walk around amongst. Jake came this time as well.
I was there. I met Jeff Goldblum.
All of our partners came. Yeah. And we all went and met Jeff Goldblum, and we brought along a Coldblum
asked for by name.
Yes. Yeah. Drink insulator, which you can get at store.idlethumbs.net.
Nice.
A completely unnecessary item that is a high-quality yellow foam beer koozie. You know, you stick your can of
whatever. Or as Jeff
in
called it, a mug holder.
Yes, he said he was like,
I think you're on first name basis with old Jeff now.
Well, you know, this is the second time. I mean,
this is the third encounter Nick Brecken
that's true, actually.
has had with Jeff Goldblum.
It is the third time he's met me.
He doesn't
know
the
second time
he's met you.
He's met me. This third time I've met him. Let's put it that way.
That's true, yes. It is the third time you've crossed paths, knowingly or otherwise.
Yeah.
And...
I really did consider just sliding it in there while we were standing next to him.
I considered sliding a security tray containing his shoes.
Well, I just thought about
8 years ago.
Yeah.
Hey Jeff, you may not remember this.
I almost stole your shoes. I thought about doing it because if you're going to say that to anybody, it's like Jeff Goldblum, it wouldn't even register.
He would be like, maybe you should have.
Oh, yeah, you should have done that.
He would probably actually just roll it into his.
Yeah.
You know, this man almost stole my shoes. Apparently, I don't remember this, but it must be true. It actually is interesting how fully in the sort of entertainer zone that guy is all the time. He lives on it. I mean, I think someone like Jeff Goldblum, who makes so much of his public persona is that he's kind of eccentric and weird, but he also clearly is a 100% consummate showman and entertainer who just thrives on being the center of a room, on holding an audience, you know, sort of enthralled for a few hours.
Captive was another word that you could use.
Yeah. I was looking for other words.
Yeah, no, I think that's fine.
Yeah. It is fascinating to observe that in action.
Yeah. Yeah,
I haven't very often.
No, I mean his act is such a strange act because it's always, now that we've seen him twice, we can probably say this is basically his act.
Yeah,
you know,
I think so. Yeah.
Which is a jazz song, and then
alternated
with him just kind of free associating topics, often spurred by like a list of. Like in the case trivia questions, but you know, in the case of San Francisco, it's like trivia questions about like San Francisco films.
Right.
But then he'll say like, you know, we'll get onto like Vertigo, and then he'll say who was the lead actor in Vertigo? Ah, yes, and that person is somehow connected to this other person, and this person,
and she starred in a famous movie with and they'll wait for someone from the audience to say any movie she was in, regardless of, and then whatever they say, he'll be like, ah, yes, and who directed that?
Right,
it was famous.
I realized I realized this time that I bet the way that he thinks of this act is that he is playing jazz and then continuing to think of the act as like a jazz, like a spoken word, like jazz act.
It is all like that style of sort of stream of consciousness improv, but with a structure and
he's playing jazz with the audience.
Right. I mean, it's so cheesy to say, but you said that to me during the show, and you're totally right.
I'm sure that's the way that he thinks of this stuff.
I mean, it's the way it comes off.
Yeah.
He probably would not articulate that, even though that might be what he thinks.
Probably. I mean, no, that's true.
He would probably articulate it an even weirder way.
Yes,
exactly. Yeah. Anyway,
it was nice though when he took that Coldblum and just put it up on his piano, because then the entire time that we were watching him play the piano, I could just look at our logo
back at us, because he hilariously placed it down with his own face facing him.
Yep.
So the Idle Thumbs logo was facing out towards the audience.
He also knows how to manage promotional consideration.
No, it's true.
Yeah.
We just placed a big order of those on the store, so hopefully he doesn't sue us as a result of now knowing this product exists. So, you know, if you want one of those, maybe get it now.
He probably thinks that it's something we made for him.
He almost probably certainly does. He said, he sort of held it out to the audience like, it's a mug. It's some kind of mug holder. And then he said, I will treasure this gift always, and put it on the
threw it aside.
Don't tell him that we've made like 1,300 of them.
I know. I think he definitely thought. I'm almost certain he thought that we just made.
Hopefully,
that.
he's at home. And he's like, this is mass produced. What is this? This is contraband. It's bootleg.
This wasn't crafted by the hand of an artisan.
Yeah.
It was good though. It's a fun show. I would go see that show again, especially in a small venue. I would say if you are, I mean, he does this, I think, basically every week in LA. So if you live in the LA area and have the opportunity,
let's be honest, you've seen it already.
You may well have. If you have the opportunity to see Jeff Goldblum and the Mildred Schnitzer Orchestra, which is actually the name of his group, I would do it. It's fun.
Yeah.
It's a unique.
Why not?
It's a unique show.
Yeah.
There's a new Mario game. I assume that's what we're.
Yeah. So we've been talking about Mario a lot lately, and it feels like Nintendo just dropped some choice morsels in front of us. I mean, well,
are you saying that Are you saying that the lore we established last week could be extended? Because I think I'd maybe disagree with that.
I'm confirming that is true.
My
God!
Are you?
Wow,
because
that's a strong statement.
I would say quite the opposite. I would say not one thing that we've said about Mario matters in the slightest anymore, because now we know Mario is basically some kind of capering little goblin. He's like some kind of like grotesque,
he's a leprechaun,
homunculus who like scampers around.
Okay,
is disgusting.
Should we set the scene here?
Yeah. Okay.
There's a new, as your mom would say it, there's a new Nintendo.
Yeah.
Nintendo has the Nintendo Switch coming out, which is their new big console, but it's also their new small console, I guess, because it plugs into your TV, but then you can pick it up and it has a screen and controllers, and you can take it in your car. Yeah. They had the big unveiling of their launch lineup and of this year's lineup, and in addition to a bunch of other things, they announced Super Mario Odyssey, which is the new Mario game, and it's fucked up because Mario
It's really fucked up.
It's fucking weird. It's fucking weird.
This game takes place apparently in a simulacrum of actual New York City.
That's only one level, though.
Oh, it is?
Yes, that's why this is the weirdest thing, because Mario exists in what looks like Mario 64 levels, where it's like everything's cartoony and fucking weird, and there's huge fish and a bunch of like bad, sort of big-eyed cartoon characters that look like they're made out of spheres blobbing around. But yeah, then also the highlighted stage is a quote-unquote real life, which is like... You imagine from the way
it's not real life because it's New Donk City.
Okay,
but it's hold on. But it's real life in the sense that like
New
GTA
Donk City
is real life.
Yeah.
There's not...
Oh man, I have something to say about that. Anyway,
so just Princess Peach and Mario and Luigi.
Yeah.
And I mean, even weirdly, Wario and Waluigi and Daisy and like whatever, Rosalina, is that her name? They're ostensibly human, right? They look like the internally consistent Mario universe definition of what a human is. And you imagine, as someone who has read like the 80s Nintendo comics, which I know, Nick, that you have.
Oh, yeah.
There are a bunch of other humans who walk in and out of this world that look like Mario. Not anymore. That is not...
that's canonically false.
That is canonically false because Mario visits what looks like GTA 3. He just like goes to like Crazy Taxi on the Dreamcast. He goes to like a lo-fi
Mario
city.
is apparently 3 feet tall. Some kind of like pudgy little gnome who waddles around.
Well, this maybe answers the question that people, I guess, have kind of maybe had forever, which is, how big is Mario before he eats a mushroom? Because if think about this, in like Mario 1 and 3, when Mario walks up next to Princess Peach, nay Toadstool,
right,
and he hasn't had a mushroom, she's 2 sprite units tall, and he is 1 sprite unit tall. So maybe Mario is just always a super short dude.
Okay, but he's not a super short dude. He's like a weird, bulbous, gross man, which would be fine if that's just how humans were generally rendered. But it's not. This actually made me realize it's, as you say about Peach, it's actually been fucked up the whole time. Because even in the modern Mario 3D games, Peach is still basically proportioned like a normal human being.
Yes.
And Mario is this little fucking guy. Like we've always, you know, ever since the advent of the 3D Sonic games, it's always been like, oh, Sonic is so weird because it's like this like gross hedgehog goblin like surrounded by full humans who he like hugs
Mario
and
and
stuff,
Sonic are fucking hanging out now.
Yeah, apparently it's the same shit. Mario's been the same shit forever. They just didn't push it far enough for us to know, but now we know.
That's true. Are you going to talk about New Donk City?
No, you please do that. And then
okay, this is where I think...
Oh yeah, you said you understand something about this that I don't.
Okay, so the best and stupidest name of all is the name of the city in Mario Odyssey, which is New Donk City, presumably similar to New York City, I guess, except that these people are named New Donkers. It's etc. As Sean was saying at lunch today, you get a classic New Donk City style pizza, for instance, etc. I imagine though that New Donk is actually a reference to Donkey Kong.
Oh, God,
and so this is why I think that this is actually connected to the rise of Mario. Is that Mario's earliest abuse on record is as the captor and tormentor of Donkey Kong Jr. in the game Donkey Kong Jr. In that game, Mario is just being a fucking shithead to one of the Donkey Kong characters. Like has him. God, why can't I need to? I thought that it was that he's in a cage, but that might be that in Donkey Kong 1, Donkey Kong has Pauline in a cage. But Mario is just a shit across the entirety of Donkey Kong Jr.
Okay.
Which I guess
don't even know what that means. What does that mean? I don't remember that game.
He's the bad guy. You play as Donkey Kong Jr. and Mario.
I think you play as Donkey Kong. Right? Yeah. Okay. So
this is Donkey Kong Jr. I think predates Diddy Kong. This is like Donkey Kong's first family.
Yeah. Right. The first family.
Or. I don't want to... Danielle's not here, so we can't get into Donkey Kong Country lore, but I think that Donkey Kong from Donkey Kong Country might be Donkey Kong Jr. and Cranky Kong.
Cranky is the original.
Anyway, I imagine then that New Donk City may in fact be the mayor of New Donk City, or the person for whom it is named, I imagine, has got to be the New Donk, a.k.a. Donkey Kong Jr., and this is like... yet another faction in the anti-Mario camp. So, like, it's my hope that what Nintendo has not yet revealed in Super Mario Odyssey is New Donk's revenge. which is the arc. Like could this be the beginning of Mario's fall? He's not yet Wario, but
okay.
I feel like maybe dredging up Mario's past as like evil animal captor and like torturer, etc., could perhaps tie in to Mario paying a visit to New Donk City. Maybe he's trying to like tie up some loose ends, if you know what I mean.
Sure.
You know, like
yeah.
He realized that someone had some dirt on him in New Donk City. He had to go back.
See, the thing is, none of this matters because Mario is some kind of shitty little troll. Like
that's how he fucking fools you. You think like, God, you say that to like the just shank comes out and you're just bleeding out on a back alley of New Donk City.
Yeah.
Did you guys see the
Mario owns the New Donk police, Chris?
Did you guys see the video that somebody made where they shot?
Oh, the GTA?
Yeah, where they put the Mario in GTA, and he's just like, it's like the video basically right up into the point where the cab comes across the screen and then just like wipes Mario out and
that
just
one was
folds
less,
under himself.
That video is less terrible than the actual real game they're making because at least Mario is like the height of a person.
Yeah,
that's true.
That is a fantastic video though of just like
the
guy going woohoo, doing a backflip, and then immediately just doing a physics fall down like 3 fire escapes.
It's pretty good.
Oh, very, very good.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Well,
yeah, I don't have.
I was made almost physically ill looking at these images of Mario like looking up like 4 feet up into the face of just like a guy,
realistically proportioned
suit,
guy
down. It looks sort of being like, huh?
I know
that guy was executing supreme restraint by not just fleeing.
Yeah, what are they gonna do? Like in the game, like what are the crowd reactions gonna be? Like, what? Oh, hi, Mario. No. Like what?
Just everywhere you go. It's actually a stealth game.
Right.
You have to fucking sneak around or else if you are seen, you'll be shot. God, just like, woo, 4 vans pull up and you just are put in a net and just
and they all say threat neutralized.
God, just that it was all leading up to just like to actual humans going threat neutralized. Into their collar or their like or their cuff.
Well, we all know what Mario.
Oh, and then from inside the bag, you just hear threat neutralized. Mario.
What does that even mean anymore in the context of this?
It means that he talks like this because he's a fucking shitty cartoon man.
Yeah.
Although now, who knows what he is now?
That's what I mean.
Yeah.
Like none of it means anything.
Yeah.
What a disaster.
It's just the way that his strange species talks.
Yeah. That's why Super Mario Galaxy exists. He comes from another actual galaxy.
Right. Yeah, he comes from the Mario Galaxy.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Oof. I hate it. I do not like anything that I saw in the screenshots.
Well, I'll be there on day one, Chris, from the
I know.
latest impressions.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well,
what else is going on?
I don't know. We got New Donk City out of there, and I'm not sure what else is left in the world.
Nick started tweeting a bunch of stuff recently.
All right. We can get into this.
Nick made us some statement on Twitter, like, I don't know, 4 days ago, 5 days ago or something, to the effect of the movie that best represents our times is Batman Forever.
No,
Batman
Returns.
Batman Returns.
Batman Returns.
Oh, okay. I totally missed.
Yeah.
Not that it matters because I immediately stopped reading your Twitter account at that moment because I needed to hear this from your mouth.
Nick and I talked about this for a minute, and I think that it might track, although
it's not a perfect track.
I would say it's both not a perfect track, and it may be a little too clean to even like. It's too pat, Nick.
Maybe.
Okay, you got to actually tell me what it is.
All right, well,
okay, so Batman wakes up in New Donk City. He's tiny. It's fucking weird.
Yeah.
Tim Burton.
I took a few notes. I'm going to run through it. It might be a little too clean, but let's see where it goes. So, if you're not familiar with the plot of Batman Returns,
this is the second Tim Burton Batman movie. This is not Batman
Michael
Begins
film.
when he becomes Spider-Man.
Right. Yeah. Michael Keaton still playing Batman as a strange, reclusive billionaire, which is probably the right way to go with that stuff. But so anyway, the plot of this film is that the villains are the Penguin and this guy Max Schreck, who is
I don't even remember that.
And
you
don't remember
this? Well, kind of. Yeah, she's both a villain and a friendo. But So Max Schreck is this billionaire guy played by Christopher Walken. Okay. And
wow, I do not remember.
Yeah, it's very strange. I don't even remember why.
How did you find
Janelle and I
yourself
started. Yeah, I don't remember why. I think we were playing some game and Batman Returns was mentioned, and Janelle said, "I've never seen Batman Returns," and then we just found ourselves having a few drinks, and we were like, "I guess we could just watch Batman Returns right now."
Really quick, sorry, as a quick digression here.
Yeah.
Jake, when it's good to go back to our horrible images of ourselves.
Yeah.
Again, that you can find at idlethumbs.net/faces.
Oh, and I'm like, wow.
Jake commented about himself that his character would be likely to sell you some bubble tape. To which, to which,
no, okay,
you replied that you had
Janelle
had to explain to you, Nick,
yeah,
what bubble tape is.
Well,
how did you grow up in the '90s and not know what bubble tape is?
Only '90s kids who aren't Nick Brecken will know what this is.
No, I watched a commercial after that.
Yeah, I sent you one.
Yeah,
to remind you.
Yeah, and then
the bubble tape TV commercial aesthetic choice.
And was bubble tape for you, not them?
Yes.
Yeah. Is that what bubble tape was for and not for? Okay.
And the bubble tape commercials was totally like there was like the Monty Python Terry Gilliam look that then got co-opted by the "You Can't Do That on Television" opening credits that then sort of became like,
oh wow, did bubble tape predate that?
No, it's after that, because I feel like the "You Can't Do That on Television" opening credits, which was a like Canadian sketch comedy show that Nickelodeon had on it.
Nickelodeon stuff came from Canada.
Yeah,
but
like that introduced like green slime and all that other shit to Nickelodeon's aesthetic. But I feel like their opening credits was like a weird sort of like grindy Dixieland version of the William Tell Overture, but like with like Monty Python aesthetics of all of the cast getting put through a meat grinder.
Oh yeah,
and I feel like that show's opening credits being a like Terry Gilliam ripoff, but being seen by a bazillion kids, ended up being like what turned into the like righteous kids rebellion anthem aesthetic used by marketers to sell things to kids on Nickelodeon.
Oh yeah,
because the bubble tape commercials are totally like a combination of the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air intro and the like or the Toe Jam and Earl aesthetic, and not Terry Gilliam, but You Can't Do That on Television's version of Terry Gilliam.
Yeah.
And it talks about like, your gym teacher wears a hairnet and serves mashed potatoes with an ice cream scoop. It's bubble tape.
Yep.
Etc.
Play it loud. Yeah. I mean, like all of those ad campaigns, like in the mid-90s.
Yeah, but the bubble tape one was like...
Well, yeah, and you sent that to me, and I went, oh my god, I've watched this fucking commercial
whoever
like
made that commercial must have been
I've seen
proud of themselves.
It triggered the, Manchurian Candidate, just the 90s kid version.
It is for me. It's not for them.
You slammed a whole bubble tape into your mouth, one on each side.
I turned into the drawing that guy did of me.
Actually, the drawing that someone
it's for me. It's for me.
You turned into the person who is bubble tape. Bubble tape is not.
You turned into the person for whom it is definitely
not.
Yeah,
you two.
That's true.
You two guys.
Jake, not you, not us.
Yeah. No, that's true.
We definitely prevented.
You did not approve of bubble tape being a thing that, like a kid should have who deserves it because it's for them.
Yeah.
No. It's not. You don't understand it.
I never consumed it. So that's
too bad that we are a generation raised on bubble tape commercials.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh well.
Yeah.
Sorry, everyone.
Anyway,
once you talk about your thesis about how Batman Returns relates to things, I will talk about how the bubble tape ad campaign extrapolated forward to a culture of things being for me, not them.
Right. Oh God. God. Jesus Christ.
Oh God, yeah.
That might be even.
We got to shut this one down and talk about Batman.
Oh yeah, I don't know. We need
Max Schreck.
So what is that? Is that like baby boomers executives as filtered through Gen X creative executives?
Yeah, then marketed to like young millennials.
Yeah. Oh my God.
Yeah.
Welcome to the world.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're the person of the year, not them.
God. Time Man of the Year brought to you by Bubble Tape.
Yep.
Anyway, that is not where I wanted this to go. I want to hear about Batman.
All right.
What I wanted to hear about on this podcast is Batman Returns.
Well, God damn it. So listen, there are a few things I just need to get out there. But to do so, I think I'm just going to read the basic plot of Batman Returns just to build up a knowledge
remind
base.
us all.
If you now read that Batman Begins trading card without even skipping a beat. Like, I need to read the plot of Batman Begins. He became a different person entirely. Spider-Man.
Spider-Man.
Sorry, that was a deep cut.
Yeah, I alluded to it earlier, too.
Oh, really? Okay,
Yeah,
I didn't
sorry.
even pick up on it. It's okay.
You shouldn't have.
All right, Nick, go ahead. I want to hear
all right. So the basic plot of Batman Begins. I'm sorry, Batman Returns. So, you've got the Penguin, a former sideshow freak.
Right.
Oswald Cobblepot.
Right.
He explains his desire to, this is from Wikipedia, he explains his desire to become a respected citizen of Gotham and blackmails Max Schreck, the billionaire asshole, into helping him. Meanwhile, Schreck's secretary, Selena Kyle, who's Catwoman eventually,
just coincidentally,
inadvertently discovers her boss's plan to illegally monopolize Gotham's supply of electricity. To protect his secrets, Schreck pushes her out of his office window and kills her.
Turns her into Catwoman.
Anyway, a lot of stuff happens. Schreck arranges
She falls down, and then a bunch of cats bite her, and then she makes...
Wait, really? For real?
Yeah.
Does she gain powers?
I don't know. Ambiguous.
She just basically becomes...
She just becomes a weirdo.
She gets infected with toxoplasmosis. I got to tell you guys more about toxoplasmosis.
Oh, so she loves cats?
Remember, this is that crazy toxin, cat poop toxin?
Oh,
that I told you guys about like a week or two ago?
Where you eat poop, and then it makes you like cats?
Yes, I need to... it makes all kinds of weirder things happen. I need to...
She fell on a pile of cat poo.
And then ate it all.
All of the cats said, "You're our friends now." All right.
I need to give you an update in a bit, but first this.
But so anyway, long story short, Schreck arranges for one of Oswald Cobblepot's men to kidnap the mayor's infant son.
That took me a second to catch up. Well, you told me what Schreck arranges.
Oh, Schreck, yes, the Schreck.
Sorry, Jesus.
DreamWorks
Sorry.
Schreck character.
Shrek 2 arranges.
Okay. So anyway, so Cobblepot like rescues the mayor's son, and in exchange,
is that just like a new character? For the purpose of this.
Okay. And so everyone's like, oh, this crazy penguin guy
is back. That's a classic penguin thing. I've been watching the '60s Batman, which is amazing, by the way.
Yeah.
Like legitimately great. And Penguin is constantly like performing admirable civic duties that cause him to become beloved.
It seems like he wants respect by any means.
Yeah, I mean the backstory of, at least in this version, I don't know what the version in that show, but I mean like he was born into rich parents who then just kind of like saw that he was deformed and then put him in they
threw him in the river.
Threw him in a river essentially. They sent him down the river,
and then he ends up in the penguin exhibit in the zoo in the movie.
Right? Yeah. Coincidentally,
the '60s one, I think he's actually just a guy.
Yeah, no, he's raised by penguins in this, and he has like flipper hands and like it's very
So there's a character raised by penguins and a woman who ate cat poop.
Right.
Two good origin stories.
So the mayor, persuaded by Bruce Wayne, refuses to give Max Schreck, a construction permit for his power plant. Therefore, Schreck wants the Penguin to become mayor to approve his power plant plan. So, this is where it gets really weird. And Janelle and I were watching this, and our minds were just being fucking wrecked. There's a scene where Max Schreck invites the Penguin to his like campaign headquarters for the Penguin. And he has to turn the Penguin into somebody that would actually people would vote for.
Right.
And so he hires these image consultants to basically make the Penguin into somebody that would actually The first thing they do is they make fun of his weird hands and his weird skin color. But the Penguin can't stop thinking about sex through this whole movie. He's just nonstop thinking about just groping people and stuff. So then the Penguin says I don't know about all this stuff. And then Max says, well, look, imagine you'll have the ear of the media, access to the captains of industry, unlimited poontang. The Penguin goes, all right, I'll be mayor. He literally just says, all right, I'll be mayor.
Right.
And that's all that it took. It's just gets crazy. He has this weird conversation with Catwoman where there's a stack of pads, legal pads off to the side, and Catwoman says, not in the office yet and already an enemies list, huh? I mean, there are a lot of things I didn't even get into. But I don't know. It was surprisingly strange to watch that where we are now and see all of these similar themes running through this film of we need to get this sort of buffoon elected and anyway, whatever.
Did you read the interview with Tim Burton that ran in Entertainment Weekly back in the day where he said that movie is set in the year 2016?
Oh my God. No, he didn't actually say that.
No, he did not say that.
Yeah.
I mean, really,
I would believe it.
I mean,
why? Yes, that's true. That's true.
Are those movies actually set in any? I guess they're just set in the year that they're made. Essentially,
they're set in.
Yeah.
Man, the Penguin election thing. It's funny that also happens in the '60s. I mean, not all of those specific details, but he also runs for mayor against Batman, I think. That
seems like a likely,
really good.
Yeah.
But really, I mean, there's not really going to be. I hope we're all ready for there to be no shortage of parallels to outrageous outrageous society as mass entertainment, as crass entertainment, I guess.
Yeah.
More like.
Yeah, I know. I realized as I was doing it. It wasn't on purpose.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's
Chris
a
as
disaster.
wacky NPR commentator,
I know.
or as I would say, crass entertainment.
I think everybody should watch Batman Returns again. Actually,
I feel like I have watched it in the
it's
last.
Actually, not. It's not
decade,
nearly
maybe?
as bad as you might think it is.
Right.
It's actually kind of worth watching.
Right.
The Catwoman stuff is it holds up. I think it's actually pretty interesting.
In what way?
I don't know. Like, it probably doesn't actually hold up as this, but to me, it felt like a fairly progressive feminist angle on Catwoman for 1991.
Oh, that's interesting.
I would say. I actually really like the portrayal of that character. I kind of wish that the third movie was just like a Catwoman movie instead of Val Kilmer.
There was a standalone Catwoman movie.
Oh, well, there was that standalone
Wait, really?
Catwoman movie, but
yeah, there was a Halle Berry
Halle Berry,
standalone
that's right.
Catwoman
I
movie that
forgot
has
about
nothing
that.
to do with the other Catwoman stuff.
Yeah. But that came out after all the other
Oh, yeah.
Batmans, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Out the other Batman.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. Anyway, God, we should probably take a break.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was
Now that we got
probably
that key content out of there.
All right. Break.
All right.
Bye.
Bye.
I mean, break.
Break.
This episode is brought to you by Squarespace. Squarespace is the best, the fastest, the easiest, the most user-friendly, the most responsive way to make your very own website, portfolio, blog, or online store. Jake, I know that you often have struggled with maintaining a personal portfolio.
Yeah, I totally have one right now. I don't. I haven't had a portfolio in a decade.
Yeah, I think the entire time I've known you, which at this point is like 15 years or more, I feel like I've known you to wrestle with having to get a portfolio
I had a portfolio
together.
once that I threw together when I interviewed at Telltale Games, and it was probably the only time in that 15 years that I've had like an up-to-date portfolio site.
You know what you could do, and I know a number of readers, Idle Thumbs readers have done, is you could go to squarespace.com, sign up for a free trial, make a whole portfolio, without even putting in a credit card or anything, make all your thing, get it all how you want it to look, and then when you're ready to check out, use the promo code THUMBS, get 10% off, sign up for a year, and get a domain name thrown in there as well.
Nice.
jakerodkin.bananas or whatever, whatever.
jakerodkin.bananas, classic.
Whatever you want it to be.
The Jake Rodkin Museum at jakerodkin.museum.
That's true, yes.
The Nick Brecken official .museum.
The Nick Brecken official museum. Squarespace will help you do it, or any other kind of website you want to make. If you go to squarespace.com, you can get started immediately. You don't need to pay for anything to figure out how to get it going. And then when you're ready to check out, there's the offer code THUMBS for 10% off and a free domain name if you get that year. Thanks, Squarespace.
Thanks, Chris.
Thanks, Chris.
This episode of Idle Thumbs is also brought to you by Blue Apron. Blue Apron sends directly to your home all of the ingredients and recipes you need to make delicious meals at home. These are restaurant quality meals. That's a cheesy thing to say, but what I mean by that is it is a diverse selection of different cuisines and ingredients, and the recipes are very well illustrated, so you can sort of plate everything in that nice little way. If you decide to make the effort,
slam
you
it
can
in your
also
face.
just slap it all on the plate and stuff it in your mouth. Who's going to stop you? It's at home. Whatever. These all come in a nice refrigerated box with everything in there, all the proteins, the vegetables, everything packed in such a way that you can just take them right out of there, put them in your fridge. They're all fine. And when you're ready to make the recipes, they're all very straightforward. And you get 3 of them a week. It's really cool. I, in fact, have one waiting for me at home. Seared pork chops with farro and cranberry chutney. Spaghetti squash and marinara with mushrooms and garlic knots. I don't know what those are. I'm going to find out. Spicy shrimp and Korean rice cakes with cabbage and furikake. And I noticed now that they've added a feature. I don't know when exactly they added this because I only just noticed it recently. But now you can, there are like 6 recipes available per week, and you can choose a subset of them instead of it just being the 3. So
nice.
so it's even more customizable now. And if you have, allergies or if you're vegetarian or whatever, also they can deal with that. But yeah, it's a really very straightforward, very easy to use service. Go to blueapron.com/idle. That's blueapron.com/idle.
Idle.
To get your first 3 meals free with free shipping. Can't beat it. blueapron.com/idle.
Idle.
All right, we're back, and I need to tell you guys about Toxoplasmosis.
Okay.
As alluded to in the
in
Batman
Catwoman's
segment.
origin story.
That was a fortuitous connection. This is not, I don't even have any jokes to make about this. This is just fascinating.
This is our science news
I hope you
segment.
guys just want to learn something weird because
this is our new podcast, Something Weird.
Okay, so Toxoplasmosis, I realized when I brought it up, was that last week or the week before? I can't even remember.
It was last week.
Yeah. I realized I sort of didn't actually describe it very well because I was sort of off the cuff recalling something from like a year or more earlier, and I didn't really do it justice. So this is a really crazy organism. It's a parasite.
Mm-hmm.
It can only reproduce in the stomach of a cat. It's called Toxoplasmosis. It's called Toxo for short pretty frequently. So it is only possible to sexually reproduce in the stomach of a cat. That is the only place this thing can like perpetuate its species.
Yeah.
So once it actually gets pooped out of the cat, and the feces are eaten by like rodents usually, so mice, rats, whatever. In order for it to keep surviving, it has to get back inside of a cat. Like that's what's crazy about this. Once it is left the cat, its whole job in life is to get back inside of the cat purely so that it can continue like procreating. What? It's true.
No, it's bad.
I know, but it's the facts. So here's the thing. Rats have a like deeply wired aversion to the smell of cat urine because they know that they don't know per se, but they have an instinct that cats are their predators. So when they smell the smell of cat urine, like they are afraid of it and they will leave. This is something that even rats that are like thousands of generations born and bred lab rats, like you could have rats whose family tree stretches back thousands.
Back to the Mayflower.
Only purely as lab rats. They came to this country as lab rats, and they've been that ever since. Have never seen a cat in their lives. Like, have never encountered a cat. They are still deeply terrified of cat urine and will act accordingly.
I'm waiting for the unless.
Unless, if that rat becomes infected with Toxo, not only are they no longer afraid of the cat urine, they love it. They love cat urine. Like, literally every single other behavioral characteristic of the rat is the same. It targets like this one fear in their brain and overcomes it. So they're still afraid of all the other things they're afraid of. It's not as though this thing is like just turning off their fear
they're not like sedate
receptors.
Now. Yeah.
Right. Like
they just love cat piss.
Yes, exactly. It forms like cysts on their amygdala, which is the part of the brain that in mammals that deals with fear and anxiety, and like unwires it, but in this like hyper specific way, which we do not actually understand. We do not know how this happens. And on top of that, it seems like it's actually possibly even doing different things to male rats and female rats. Like that's how specialized it is.
That's really interesting.
Yeah, it's
I want
terrifying.
them to figure out how this works and then do that for like fear of flying or something, and then I just have a cyst on my brain that just takes away.
We're trying to figure out how it works.
Yeah.
I mean,
I don't want that. I don't want something that can be put in my food that changes my brain.
Well,
why would you want that?
I want that.
Here's what it does. Here's what it does.
Bubble tape.
Here's what it does to males. If you were to like rewire the part of your brain that's afraid of flying, it actually hijacks the sexual arousal pathway in the male brain, which it then bolsters. So not only keep going. Not only would you not be afraid to fly, you'd be quite excited to fly.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah,
sexually.
It doesn't. Also, what's crazy is that that's not even the way it works on female rats, but it still makes female rats. It still affects their behavior, but it clearly seems to be doing it through yet a different mechanism that we don't understand. So here's another super weird thing. Toxo has a particular genes that humans also have, which is the gene responsible for human brains and other mammalian brains creating dopamine, which is the neurotransmitter that creates a sense of like pleasure and reward, right? Like the dopamine is a very commonly discussed thing. What's crazy about that is that it means we have a common ancestor with this thing, but because we're such different organisms, it means probably our common ancestor between humans and the Toxoplasmosis parasite is probably like billions of years in the past. Other similar toxins don't even have that gene. Like, that is how weird and like distant and just crazily unlikely.
The thing we have in common is that we both love cats.
So in humans, like when you this is where it starts getting actually like terrifying.
And we love living and reproducing inside of their stomachs.
So so for rats, Toxo does this really specific thing, which is make them like no longer afraid of and in fact attracted to cat urine, because then it's more likely that they will spend time around cats and the cats will kill them and eat them, and therefore the Toxo goes back inside the cat.
Yeah.
Humans can also be infected by Toxo, however. So if you're a pregnant woman, Toxo's really bad because it messes with the fetal brain in bad ways.
Yeah,
so
if you're pregnant, you're not supposed to touch like a litter box.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
So that's one thing. That's just bad. But other than that, in people who are not pregnant, like the symptoms will go away after a while, like, and it'll just appear that you're fine now and nothing's wrong now. But that's actually when the cysts start forming on the amygdala. And women who are infected with Toxo get slightly more impulsive. Men infected with Toxo get even more impulsive than that. And there have been multiple unrelated independent studies which demonstrates that people who are infected with Toxo have 3 to 4 times the likelihood of getting in car accidents due to reckless speeding.
Weird.
Because this thing is actually depressing your instinct away from risk. Like it is actually modulating your risk tolerance to make you less reticent to do things that you know are dangerous.
Crazy.
So,
it's because you want to get home to see your cat who you love now.
You want to get home to see your weird anime lady who's infected your brain with a thing that makes you like desperate to hang out with
They did
her.
that anime jar lady just goes,
Yeah, she's got nanos.
Yeah.
So the U.S. military...
She's got nanos just on the box.
That's the biggest bullet point. The U.S. military has apparently done research on Toxo to see how to like harness this power, which is really terrifying.
So the Nick isn't afraid of flying, but also drives his car off a cliff.
Right. So like, who knows what other weird things are just out there, like going into our brains.
We've all seen the entirety of the X-Files.
That's true. That's true. That's true. So anyway, I couldn't believe this stuff was crazy to me.
Yep.
It completely blew my mind.
Yeah.
So
and then implanted cysts.
That's true. It blew, then reconstituted my mind in a slightly more distressing manner. Whoa! I don't know why I just did that, guys.
Neither do I.
It's weird. I couldn't help myself.
Strange. Yeah.
So anyway,
you looked more like the illustration of than you ever have.
Wait, really?
Yeah, you sort of
that guy's so sedate.
But you sort of went like your face kind of like puffed out. Yeah. I was like, oh, there's the Chris that I know from listening to this podcast.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It also changes the way that you perceive your friends aesthetically. You see their faces looking different.
Yeah.
If I look cooler to you guys this week, it's because you've been eating cat poop.
Oh, okay. I thought it was because I'd been eating bubble tape.
No. I mean, unless the bubble tape had been rubbed in cat poop.
Shit.
Exactly.
Yes. Indeed.
Yeah. So that's that. That's Toxo for you.
Weird.
It's really distressing and weird.
I don't like the science news segment of the podcast.
Yeah, it's freaking me out.
Anything dealing with technology or science on this podcast is guaranteed to be fatalistic.
It turns out that it somehow always will take a turn into the government is making things that will rewire your brain or dismantle you.
Yeah. I guess speaking of much less impactful science news, we have a quick correction from Andrew Littler, who responded to us to say, in response to our Jurassic Park segment,
oh shit!
Actually, the pterodactyl is not a bird dinosaur.
Oh yeah,
it evolved to fly totally separately of theropods. No hollow bones, just muscle. That's crazy.
Yeah.
So the bird dinosaur is not a bird, and all the non-bird dinosaurs are birds.
Yeah.
Well, there's Archaeopteryx, which is a bird.
What is?
That's a feathered
it's an actual
flying.
bird.
Yeah, there are
Okay.
bird dinosaurs.
So there's 3 categories here.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
I think so.
You have
There's just-
non-bird birds.
This is
bird
like
non-birds.
Yeah.
And straight up bird.
And bird.
Bird.
So yeah, this one though is just like a regular ass dinosaur that got fucking ripped and has weird flaps so it can fly around. Yeah,
Yeah. I think so.
it's just huge.
Yeah.
So is it like a bat? Is a bat a bird?
This is our science segment. Is a bat a bird?
Is a bat a bird?
I don't know.
I don't think a bat is a bird.
You
right?
sorry, a person like your voice saying like is a bat a bird? You sounded like you would have been like a sample of a child asking that question that then ended up in like some 90s
Mr.
mix.
Wizard or something?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Just like, is a bat a bird?
Right. Yeah,
Yeah.
counterculture used to be really into like samples from education.
Yeah, no, some European DJ definitely found you asking that on this podcast, and then it was played in a club one time.
Yeah.
Bats are mammals.
Okay, right.
As it turns out.
So
So they're not a bird.
they're not,
please.
They're not a dinosaur either, though. I guess I probably could have
Bats are
assumed
not
they're
dinosaurs.
a dinosaur.
Correct. Correct, Chris. A plus.
I'm just
Please see me. Please see me. I don't.
it's a process of eliminating.
Why did you write all about Toxo on your paper instead of about bats? Why didn't you learn? Why didn't you study the?
Is a bat a bird? It's not a dinosaur. F.
Frowny face. Yeah.
Yeah, it's just the red
just a
pen is
picture
just
of my balding?
Right. You know, it's that picture. No, it's the yeah.
It's not a dinosaur.
Actually, a bat is not a dinosaur. You just sound like
It may
the
in
guy,
fact be a moth.
You sound like the guy from Men in Black.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a bat a bird.
What is that? That's not even the voice.
That's not him.
No,
that's not him. That's in a more
like a
terrifying
bad
man.
Bobcat Goldthwait.
That's a very yeah. That was Bobcat.
This is
Goldthwait.
erased.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, everyone.
There's a bat a bird.
Oh, I'm sorry for everything.
We're all sorry.
Yeah,
Yeah.
especially me. Well, that was all very dumb. Do you want to do some reader mail?
Yes.
That's all that I want. I need it. I need it real lot.
All right, so this is some weird robot news.
Okay.
So this is from Adam Labonte, who wrote in about this was a link to a Reddit post from someone saying a robot now patrols the parking lot at my work. And it looks, let me load it up my phone. It looks like this. It looks like sort of like Eve from WALL-E.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just like a pot.
Sort of like
It looks like a
cylindrical,
or like
conical.
If
white,
Apple
shiny.
Computer made a Dalek from Doctor Who.
Sure. Yep. Yeah, that's a good touchstone there. So this is the reader. There was no explanation at all of this posted in Reddit, in the Reddit thread, but the reader looked it up. And found out what it actually is. There's also a picture here. Oh my God, this is a picture of them at night, looking really terrifying. With
they have like Tron coloring.
yeah, they're definite Trons, and they're called Nightscope. Nightscope is a fully autonomous robot used to predict crimes in schools, businesses, and neighborhoods. Its developers. Yeah, this is bad. It is 5 feet tall and 300 pounds. The K5 detects crime using a variety of sensors, including video camera, thermal imaging sensors, a laser rangefinder, radar, air quality sensors, and a microphone. If the K5 detects abnormal noise and temperature change or known criminals, it will alert local authorities.
Can you just whisper the word crime near it a bunch and see what it does?
I like the idea that
burglary.
I like the idea that the two options for it to are either abnormal noise and temperature change or known criminals. Like, why are those the two things?
Well, I mean, if you got a camera on there, you might as well look for a known criminal.
Yeah, but why is the... Okay, fine. So, our robot, when it sees known criminals, it will report crime. Also, abnormal noise and temperature change.
Wait, is that an or? Did it say or?
Yeah.
So if you're a known criminal, just like sprint there so you're like sweating and like exhale weirdly near it, because then it would be abnormal temperature change and known criminals.
Like,
which I think
maybe this is a.
It's like I doesn't know what that is. It only looks for one or the other. So I think that you could trick it with an and operation instead of an or.
Yeah.
That's how you fool robots, Chris. Logic puzzles.
It's crazy.
If it's at night, how is it taking how is the camera actually
infrared criminal
thermal
eye.
Imaging sensors, Nick?
Yeah, really.
Laser rangefinder,
that just
radar,
means it has like the shitty predator
air
vision.
quality sensors, a microphone. It's these things require not
air
the
quality
sun.
sensors. It detects like the most grievous crime, acid rain, from how we have ruined our planet.
You're all guilty. All of you guilty.
Climate change
Like,
related.
Average temperature has risen in my lifetime. Acid rain detected. Smog.
Restrain all humans. Just like everyone is get in the van.
There's a competing robot that then rolls onto a competing company releases a robot that then rolls onto the scene and says, actually, these temperature fluctuations are part of normal cycles for this planet.
You are a known criminal. Yeah. What was the real robot?
Oh, wait, here we go.
Oh, okay.
So so it analyzes data. After analysis, it determines when to alert the community and authorities about the concern.
I've been sitting on a lot of real important stuff, but it didn't seem important until now.
Once that alert has begun, the K5 will turn on all of its sensors, allow the whole community to review the data, and provide real-time information. That seems like a terrible...
What that actually sounds like is like it would just like a bullhorn would come out.
Data collected. Known criminal present. Meanwhile, there's a guy like
what's the guy
something.
doing?
I'm sure it has the internet.
I have determined this is the optimal time to release this information.
Please wait here to be reviewed by the community. Like, what is that guy going to do?
Well, it's saying
just
that
gonna kick the robot over.
It's also slashing his tires because it
Yeah,
figured that out. Air pressure difference detected.
Right.
Oh, God. So the CEO says, our aim is to cut the crime rate by 50% in its geofenced area, which would increase housing values and safety while lowering insurance costs. Of course, the point of this stupid thing is to increase housing values. I have a theory that home ownership just turns people into monsters. Like, I'm sure we have a lot of homeowners listening, and I'm sure you're a decent person. But one of the things, I swear to God, like one of the primary motivators for people being terrible in society is owning a home and being scared of their value of their property falling, and then as a result acting like crazily like reactionary and protective of terrible things.
I mean, this is a garbage response to that, but it turns out that now that homes are basically unaffordably impossible to get, people probably really want to hold on to the value in their house.
Oh yeah, I can't blame people for that, certainly, but I think this has also been true for forever, basically. I don't know. I mean, like, not to like delve into something that I'm probably not even qualified to speak about at length, but like, you know, just going back to things like segregation, like a lot of that stuff is historically tied to home ownership value, like home value. Anyway.
Well, now they've got robots to solve it for us, Chris. Your home will be safe.
Yeah,
that's true.
The robot made that determination, not me.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Welcome to the world.
Yep.
The K5 is a bullet-shaped and penguin-like robot that stands about 5 feet tall.
It really wants to be mayor.
Really?
Yeah. There's also a small silver-colored flag of the United States on the left side of its body. That's one of the most important things to state about this, apparently. Anyway, there's a controversy section on the Wikipedia
Can't imagine
page.
what would be in there.
It will be widely
It's not
used in
pretty
public,
enough.
thus people are concerned with their privacy.
Yeah.
It takes pictures and videos of people without any notification and can monitor your conversations.
It can follow you home into your bedroom. Like what else?
Yeah. People wonder if the K5 will protect them or actually spy on them. And then I like that when the Wikipedia editors, in classic fashion, after people, they inserted the little bracketed who.
Yeah.
Who would wonder this?
It may be able to adjust the temperature and atmospheric conditions around it.
Although it can detect suspicious activities, it cannot arrest criminals or stop an attack.
Is that a controversy? It's probably for the best.
Yeah.
It's probably for the best.
Probably good that it can't like shoot a net at you and
Yeah. It's just that weird hypo robot from Star Wars. The weird
It's just got a
that
needle
weird
on it.
thing with that needle.
C-3PO?
Yeah.
Oh no. Yeah.
Anthony Daniels did record the voice of this.
Right? Yeah. Oh, I love it. Then
Yeah.
it's good. It's a good thing.
Oh, this is one of those robots. I think we talked about this like a year ago. This is one of the robots that ran into a 16-month-old toddler, and they were all recalled until they like investigated.
They had
it
to teach them.
Yeah.
What a child is.
Yeah. Nightscope responded, calling the incident a freakish accident. Maybe it was actually just detecting that this child would become a criminal. Maybe it was using its it was like, the temperature is very notable in the presence of this child.
It felt like it needed
the atmospheric conditions are
I feel like what it is the robot needed a purpose. Like it realized that if it didn't have a purpose, then it was going to be obsolete, and therefore it's creating a criminal by knocking the child down and teaching it to become a criminal,
exactly
so that it can its kind can reproduce.
I will raise this child to hate and fear me, so that I can then have an enemy.
Adversary.
Right, it's like the robot
criminal
Toxo.
Adversary.
Yeah.
It's figured out that as a robot, it is not subject to laws, and so it itself can never be a criminal.
Right.
Therefore, its enemies are de facto criminals.
Yeah.
It is property, and therefore any damage committed to it is property damage. Therefore, its adversaries become criminals.
Anyone
by
capable
necessity.
of damaging property
is a potential criminal.
Yep.
Yeah, right, exactly.
That logic tracks to me.
Yeah.
I mean, we all saw Westworld. We know what the computer's brain looks like when it's shown on an iPad.
It's true.
Yeah.
I mean, it just looks like a
a thermometer.
It looks like a video game dialogue tool and an atmospheric temperature, etc. monitor. Yeah.
Right.
Well,
you want
to wrap it up?
Sure.
Yeah.
All right. Thanks for joining us on Idle Thumbs. One thing we wanted to mention quickly today as we wrap up, as you may have noticed, especially over the last, month or so, this podcast has wandered increasingly frequently off of its stated topic of video games. And we've kind of been having fun doing that. And we have been thinking maybe we will actually just play around with the format of this show in the near term. And maybe anything we decide to talk about is actually we should try it out and see how it feels and is fair game. So we're just going to keep doing that for the, for the time being.
Until we die.
And just play around with what this show could be if it isn't explicitly and solely about video games.
Which it historically has been.
Right.
It's,
I mean, I think that was, part of what we realized was that we've always spent a fair amount of time on this show talking about just whatever garbage we popped into our brains at any given moment. So maybe we should just actually declare that that's fine and not something.
See what that gets us.
See where that gets us. Yeah. So if you have any thoughts about that in one way or the other, as always, we're still available at questions@idlethumbs.net.
Nope, closing it.
On Twitter @IdleThumbs, on Facebook at facebook.com/IdleThumbs.
And the forums.
And the forums, of course. Yeah, that's true, of course. So on the
thread for this episode,
yeah, for sure. Any thoughts are welcome. It's been fun for me, certainly. Hopefully you guys as well.
It was weird when I was assigned to watch 3 Jurassic Park movies. That was a strange request. No, that was not what happened.
Yeah. All right. Well, thanks for listening and watching. You can find all of the video versions of this podcast at youtube.com/idlevideos. We stream them live on our Twitch channel at twitch.tv/idlethumbs. If you're watching now, as you can tell, we have moved our recording time to Tuesday evenings Pacific, which is actually how we used to do them years ago. We're trying that out again. So
it'll be around 7:30 Pacific time.
Yeah, probably around 7:30 Pacific on Tuesdays. And if we'll try to advance or announce that in advance if we have to move the date for schedule reasons or whatever. We sent out a new edition of the Idle Thumbs newsletter this week. If you go to idlethumbs.net, you can sign up at the bottom of any page there by putting your email address in the field down there, and we just sort of tweet about stuff that's going on, both on the podcast, but also sort of surrounding the podcast.
Oh, that's right. Kotaku.
Oh, yeah.
Kirk Hamilton, who was a guest on a couple episodes of Idle Thumbs, did a write-up on Kotaku about our stupid Mario lore bullshit from a couple weeks ago. And he actually because Kirk is a fucking stand-up guy and a crack reporter, he interviewed Chris and I about that. So there is additional. If you're really hungry to discover the truth,
even go even deeper.
Yeah, you can dig a little deeper with some additional thoughts from our conversation with Kirk. I think if you search for Idle Thumbs Mario,
if you search for Kotaku Idle Thumbs,
Mario Wario,
that'll be the first
you'll probably get all that good content. But it was also, you would have heard about it first, by reading Kotaku, and you would have heard about it second if you had subscribed to our newsletter.
That's true. That's true. That's true. Oh yeah. Also in that story, I forget if we've mentioned this on the podcast. I don't think we have. That Kotaku story has that discussion embedded in just like a
YouTube,
in like a 14-minute YouTube clip taken from the
14
podcast.
Minutes long?
It was, yeah. One of the things I did last week was out of the last several episodes, I clipped out a bunch of sort of self-sufficient podcast segments about just all kinds of different things, and put those on our YouTube channel. So one of the things we've always struggled with on this podcast is how do we actually encourage people to share some of this content without necessarily having to say, okay, introduce your friends to this like 80-minute MP3 if they don't even know what it is. So there's, I don't know, half a dozen or so totally self-contained little bits that we did about that Mario thing, about Jurassic Park, about the anime robot lady in a jar. I don't even remember what the other ones are, but they're all up there on our YouTube channel at youtube.com/idlevideos. And you can see our weird faces. Say them.
Oh, also, if you only listened to this week's episode, you should go look at the YouTube version because you can see those faces in context.
Oh, that's true.
So check that out as well.
All right. Thanks.
Oh, also, I would like no.
Oh no.
I would like to announce I'm no longer playing Dark Souls. No, I am. It's fine.
Okay. What? Nick is still playing Dark Souls at our twitch.tv/idlethumbs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway.
That was a joke about video games. Got it.
All right. Thanks for listening and watching. Bye, everyone.
Bye.
That was a good fucking fake fart just now. I was really proud of that. I guess I'll turn this off now. Anyway, that's the final broadcast of Idle Thumbs.